The world is getting tougher and people are getting poorer and poorer. Now, there's no secret that the middle class is shrinking and people are getting now pushed into lower middle class or even the lower class. In today's video, I'm going to be commenting and reacting to a new documentary that came out on CNBC titled Why Americans Can't Keep Their Paycheck. Now, this documentary points out a ton of deep problems that we need to address. And as a self-made multimillionaire who escaped the middle class and have a few businesses, and I think my take on this is going to be very interesting to a lot of millennials and Gen Zs especially.
More than half of Americans with an income of $100,000 a year or higher say they're living paycheck to paycheck. This may be the result of a sneaky behavioral phenomenon called lifestyle creep.
Lifestyle creep is the common pattern of making a little more money and starting to spend a little bit more money. It happens almost automatically.
So lifestyle creep, it's this idea that the more money you make, your lifestyle also increases with the more money you're making. So you're not really making anything more or new, you're just living a lifestyle that looks better. Now, this is like population 101. This is what the middle class does overwhelmingly, is when they get a raise at work, when they get a new job and they make a little bit more money, they start spending more money on shit. Burgers at McDonald's, Starbucks every day, going out with their friends, etc. They're not doing anything smart with that extra money. They're not keeping their lifestyle the exact same that it was when they were making $45,000 and now they're making $55,000. That is a very important trick to remember, is to not increase your lifestyle once you start making more money.
On it, and then it becomes like a trade-off. Like they only can enjoy their present happiness and they're not able to save or plan for the future.
Now, the other problem is the average person doesn't invest at all. See, they don't understand how the wealthy live by investing in assets such as real estate, stocks, crypto, whatever your thing is, and having those assets pay for their fun lifestyle. Paying for their Mercedes, paying for their BMW, paying for the trips to Bali, etc. See, wealthy people don't pay cash for those things or pay out of their active income. Usually, if they're smart, their investments pay for all the fun shit that you see on Instagram. All the flights, all the private jets, all the Lamborghinis, all those things. Those are all smart business write-offs, number one. That's a whole nother topic. But they're using their wealth, they're using their passive income to pay for those things. And yeah, they're making a ton of money in the active income section, which we'll talk about in a bit. But then they're reinvesting most of that money into more assets that spit off more money. Now, for example, to kind of wrap your head around this, a perfect example of this is me. You know, I've made a ton of money in real estate. I have a pretty big net worth. And I private lend a lot of that net worth. Basically, I put mortgages on properties for other investors and they pay me interest payments every single month. Now, to cut right to it, I make about $25,000 to $30,000 a month just in interest payments. That doesn't take account into me flipping a property, my business here online, selling courses, my real estate agent income. It doesn't include any of that. I get $25,000 to $30,000 a month, no matter what, for me doing nothing, just sitting on the couch and collecting payments. And that $25,000 to $30,000 pays for my entire lifestyle that you guys see here on YouTube. My amazing big dream house in Canada. Right now we're living in our Naples house in Florida for the winter. You know, we have a pretty good lifestyle. We eat all organic food, all that stuff. And that also pays for all of my business, all my employees, all my marketing, everything. That $25,000 to $30,000 a month pays for my entire lifestyle, whether I get out of bed or not in the morning. Now, obviously, I'm hustling all day. Like here, we're selling courses. I'm selling properties as a realtor. I'm flipping houses, which is my main business. All that money, I just bank all of that money into more investments. I buy more real estate. I put on more mortgages. I get more monthly cash flow every month. See, that's what the rich do. And that's the mistake that the average American doesn't understand. They think they have to go to work and make more money and trade time for money. If I work harder, if I get more specialized, if I work longer hours, I will make more money. And that's true. But you can only make so much money working that way. Working the not smart way, trading time for money or resources for money. See, the smart thing to do would be as you increase your knowledge, as you increase your income, you're investing in things that grow and compound over time.
There's something about spending a little more than we should that can feel like rebellious or bad. And it often can be a reaction to our family culture around money or parentified or internalized rules around what we can give ourselves.
consumerism as a drug, as a way to deal and cope with life. So right now, especially these past 2 years, life has been a lot harder on almost everyone. Inflation is through the roof. The cost of housing is getting insane, especially if you rent. Food is up, gas is up, clothes is up, everything is up. Everything is more expensive, and maybe you haven't really gotten a raise, especially in these past 2 years. So you're actually making less money. Things are getting tighter.
Like going to the dentist, getting oil changes on your car, right? There was a time in my life when oil change was just like not even a priority. Like, I'm trying to keep tires on my car. I'm trying to keep it running. I'm trying to keep the registration paid. I'm not concerned about an oil change, right?
More people are getting financially stressed, and they use going to Starbucks every day, going to bars with friends, going out as a drug, as a way to deal with life and really escape their problems. I think that's actually the deeper rooted issue to especially the lower and the middle class, is that instead of doing the smart things that the rich are doing, learning how money works, learning how investing works, how does the stock market work, how does crypto work, and putting money into those things, because that's boring, that's not cool, and it's hard, it's easier to just go to Starbucks every single day, get your grande frappe malika balaba latte, and just escape all of your problems. And the thing is, all those little purchases in someone's psyche doesn't really add up. Oh, it's just $3. Oh, it's just $5 on a grande. Whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It is a big deal, because if you're only making 45 grand a year, $5 every single day times 3, plus your Netflix subscription, your Hulu subscription, all those things. Those add up really, really quick when you're not making that much money to begin with. And that's how people get set back, and set back.
Said that keeps you in scarcity mode and afraid to spend on things that you may need or want, and kind of affect your lifestyle in that way.
Now, the real way to get ahead, especially when you're making the average income, is to just focus on the basics first, the needs of your life. Reality is, people got to start budgeting and figuring out how much is my mortgage every single month, what's my car payment, my gas, food, the clothes I need, like the very basic things that you need to live on every single month. How much does that cost? And how much income are you bringing in? Now, whatever is left over should really, to me, be fully allocated to investing, but I get it, life happens. You want to go out a couple times with your friends, cool, no problem.
Choice to go out drinking and having fun and
set aside a budget, and that's the key word, a budget, and figure out how much can you realistically spend on your grande frappe malika lattes. And more importantly, how much should you be setting aside to investing in the S&P 500, or better yet, real estate. And this is the real key here, is to figure this out, especially in your 20s and 30s. This is when it matters, and this is when most people fuck around with their life and have no direction. They're living for the weekend, they're just living for the next spring break trip, whatever. They're not paying attention to their finances, lifestyle creep is happening, and now when they're 32, 33, and they start having kids, starting to settle down, realizing they're getting a little older, and figuring out, okay, now I gotta start budgeting. Dude, it is way too late. I mean, it's never too late, but the golden time to start investing is literally as early as you can. 18, 19, 20 years old, 22, that's when you should be investing full on in yourself, in your business, in the S&P 500, like I said, because it's just the easiest thing anybody can do. You don't need stock training. You don't need to learn how to read charts. Just invest in the S&P 500, please. But if you're a savage like myself, you're going to start learning how to do real estate investing, learn how to run a business, flip houses. That's the real shit right there. But learning all those things and doing those things in your 20s is so crazy.
can't avoid, and there's things that you have a choice to do and you can adjust.
Value-based spending is what I teach, and it's where you sit down and you really evaluate, one, where am I spending my money right now, and am I being reactive or am I being proactive in that?
For example, there's many studies done that if a 20-year-old invests $10,000 in the S&P 500 and never touches it again, and someone else who's 35 years old and does something like $10,000 a year every single year until they're both 65, the 20-year-old who started with $10,000 only one time is actually going to be richer because of this thing called compound wealth. Now, I don't know if that's the exact numbers of that study, but it was something like that, but it was shocking. If somebody starts with a much smaller amount at 20 years old rather than 35, the 20-year-old will come out way on top. See, you have to make compound growth and wealth a thing. To me, it should be like your whole life's thing. Because let's be real, everybody needs money. You watching right now, I guarantee, have a job or some sort of a job. Why? To make money. But do you know exactly how money works? Do you know how business works? Do you know anything about economics, about politics, how our elections are structured? Do you know any of that basic fundamental economic stuff? I guarantee you don't. And don't feel bad. Most people don't because it's never taught in school, and that's all for a reason, by the way. Nobody fucking understands how money works. But it's my mission to make sure you do.
Goal here is to find balance. It's about finding ways to spend in the moment and also how you want to spend your money in the future.
Now, finding balance. There's gotta be some sort of balance. I get it. You gotta have fun. You gotta work hard. You can't just be a total savage and just focus totally on your career like me. Because there are consequences to that. There are consequences. I basically threw away my 20s. I mean, I had a good time. I played in a rock and roll band. My wife and I traveled a lot. We had fun, of course. But reality, compared to a normal 20-year-old dude, I threw away my 20s. I grinded. I worked 12 hours a day as a carpenter. I was building my real estate investing business and my realtor business. Everything I did was just business. But now, dude, in my 30s, I'm chilling. I'm a self-made multimillionaire. I got more money than fucking 80-year-olds do, and I'm only 35. Dude, I'm just getting started. My 40s is gonna be a joke. My 50s, I ain't working a day in my life for sure. And not just like chilling as a 50-year-old retired. No, I'm gonna be traveling the world, balling out because of the shit that I did in my 20s and all the stuff I learned, all the education, all the skills I've picked up throughout my 20s and 30s and 40s. Dude, life is gonna be grabbed by the motherfucking balls. And the reality is, people are just getting poorer and poorer. The job market is getting worse and worse. Housing is getting more expensive. If you don't understand these things, if you don't understand economics and how to build a business, you're fucked. Like, you're never, ever going to get ahead. And I truly think the system nowadays especially is totally designed for that purpose. Just to keep the worker bees working, slightly happy, slightly drunk on Bud Light, and that's good enough. Now, if you're watching this video, and especially if you're subscribed to my channel, you want a hell of a lot more than that. Retiring at 65, that's disgusting. How about the option of retiring by 38? Yeah, that sounds pretty dope. And that's what we're doing over here at Fruitful Co. But back to balance and having a good time. Here's the thing. Throughout my 20s and 30s, I had to earn my balance. That's why my brain worked. If we want to go on a trip or go camping with friends or go to a bar or whatever, have a good time, everything went through my mind was, number one, can I afford it? Number two, did I earn it? Did I make enough money this past month to go out and spend $50 on some shitty meal I'm gonna fucking hate anyway? So my friends were always asking us, hey, let's go to the Charcoal Steakhouse. Let's go to this restaurant. Come on out on Friday night. And it was like, no. Number one, I'm gonna hate the meal, like I said. Number two, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I earned it this month. And nowadays, I'm 35, multimillionaire. Still, this shit runs through my mind when friends invite us anywhere. And I'm like, it's old programming. Of course I can afford it. Of course I can afford it. But did I really earn it? Did I do enough this past month? Is our business crushing? Oh, it is. Okay, fine. I will go out and have a good time. You know what? This past couple months, I don't know. It's been a little slower. I don't know if I've earned it. I'm going to pass, guys. That's the shit that I still do. I'm not saying it's right. I know I'm a little loco, but that's how my brain works. And to be slightly narcissistic and straight to the point, that's why I am where I am, and everybody I know, everybody around me, is where they are. Broke, stressed out, fat, fucked up. I mean, I got my own problems about money and how I grew up and all that stuff. Of course, I gotta work through some stuff. I ain't saying I'm perfect. But one thing I'm not doing is staying up all night worrying about money and can I pay the mortgage and having all that stress. Now remember, the number one cause of divorce is financial problems. Always. So what do you think from this documentary and my thoughts? Comment below. Do you agree with what I'm saying? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think I'm too intense? Are you like me? Let me know in the comments. Smash the like button, subscribe for more daily videos. I will see you in the next video.